Dad sent a message, "We no longer trust you. We've changed all the locks." I responded, "Understood." 2 days later, their lawyer called in panic. At Dad's birthday party, I played the audio of them mocking me, showed $297,347 in receipts to 60 guests, then grandfather walked in and announced something that made Dad's face go pale. What happened next destroyed them completely. Before I reveal exactly what grandfather said that night, how I made them pay back every stolen dollar, and why their lawyer is still desperately trying to reach me, do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. Your support helps stories like this reach people who desperately need to hear them. My name is Marcus Chen, and for 5 years, I was my family's secret bank account. Not their son, just an endless source of funds they could tap whenever convenient. My father Richard Brennan and stepmother Patricia had one rule: take from Marcus, never give back, never say thank you. It started innocently. Dad called one afternoon, voice trembling. "Marcus, son, I need to talk about something serious. The business took a major hit. We're facing foreclosure on the house. The house where my late mother had lived, where I'd spent my childhood, where her memory lingered. Losing it felt like losing her again." "How bad is it, Dad?" 3 months behind on mortgage. The bank sent final notice. "I've tried everything. It's not enough." "What do you need?" Heavy pause. $4,200 monthly. "Just until I recover." 6 months, maybe a year. "I swear, son, I'll pay back every penny." I didn't hesitate. "I'll handle it, Dad. Don't worry about the house." His relief was overwhelming. "Marcus, you're saving this family." That was 5 years ago. The temporary arrangement became permanent. 6 months turned into 5 years. The $4,200 monthly payment became automatic. But it didn't stop there. "Dad, property taxes are due. Can you cover them?" "Sure. That's $3,800. Insurance premium increased." "I've got it. Another $2,200. "Marcus, the roof is leaking. We need emergency repairs. Quote is $18,000. Send the invoice." Then came my half-sister Melissa's needs. "Marcus, Melissa's car transmission failed. Can you help?" "Just $8,000. "Of course. Melissa's husband lost his job. Could you cover their rent?" "How much?" "The kids need winter clothes. Melissa's cards are maxed." "I'll send cash." "Marcus, water heater died. Emergency plumbing, need $1,500. Fence is falling apart. Melissa's daughter needs braces." "Marcus, Marcus, Marcus." Every call ended with outstretched hands. Every time, I said yes. Because that's what family does, right? You sacrifice. You believe eventually they'll appreciate it, say thank you and mean it. But they never did. Thank yous disappeared. Promises to repay faded. Gratitude became entitlement. My money became a right they assumed. I lived frugally while they lived lavishly. They bought new cars, I drove my 7-year-old sedan. They vacationed in Hawaii, I worked overtime eating ramen. Melissa lived in the 4-bedroom house with pool that I paid for, I resided in a cramped studio with broken AC. The breaking point came on a Sunday in late September. I was scrolling social media when I saw Melissa's post. Everyone gathered on the front porch, Melissa and her husband holding a sign reading, "Forever Home," with hearts. The kids laughing with balloons. Dad's arm around Patricia, both beaming. The caption stopped my heart. "After years of hard work and sacrifice, this house is finally ours. So grateful for building a legacy our children will inherit. Dreams come true when you never give up." Years of hard work. Their house. Their sacrifice. Not a single mention of me. I had invested $278,000 into that property, and I'd been erased. The comments made it worse. Over 200 people congratulating Melissa. "You worked so hard. What an inspiration." My Aunt Linda, who knew what I'd been doing, commented, "Melissa, you're such a hard worker. This house is in the right hands. You've earned this." Earned? That word burned like acid. Patricia shared the same photo. "Watching my daughter achieve her dreams fills my heart with joy. Melissa and Jake have demonstrated what determination and family values can accomplish." I sat there, something fundamental shifting. Not anger. Clarity. The realization I'd been a fool. Next morning, I called the mortgage company. "This is Marcus Chen. I need to verify information about 847 Riverside Drive. How can I help? Can you confirm I'm still sole mortgagee?" Typing, then pause. "Yes, sir. You're the only name on the mortgage. Any recent activity? Requests to change ownership or add borrowers?" Longer pause. "Actually, yes. We received a request 3 weeks ago to add Melissa Harper as co-borrower and transition primary responsibility to her. Application is in verification stage. My grip tightened. Was I notified? An email was sent. We're waiting for your consent forms. I never received that email and never consented. Place an immediate hold. No changes without my explicit written permission and in-person verification with 2 IDs. I'll place that hold now, Mr. Chen. Send me copies of all applications and requests from the past 6 months. Everything in writing. When documents arrived 2 days later, I spread them across my table. There it was. Melissa had applied to take over the mortgage, claiming she'd been making payments for 3 years and I was simply a co-signer. She'd forged my signature. Dad had written a support letter stating the house had always been intended for Melissa. The lies were brazen. I pulled up bank statements going back 2 years. Small charges initially, $50 here, $70 there, at stores I never used. Then larger amounts. $300 at electronics. $500 at furniture. $800 at groceries. I called one store. I'm verifying a purchase on my card 4 months ago. What was bought and where delivered? A 65-inch smart television, sir. Delivered to 847 Riverside Drive. Melissa's address. I'd unknowingly bought her a television. I went through every charge. Laptop. Patio furniture. Swing set. Monthly groceries averaging $600. For 2 years, Melissa used the emergency credit card I'd given her, treating it like unlimited spending. Total, $19,347. Adding mortgage, taxes, insurance, repairs, cash gifts, $297,347. Nearly $300,000 over 5 years. I called Melissa directly. Why are you still using my credit card? Casual, annoyed response. Oh yeah, been meaning to mention that. We've been using it for basics, groceries, stuff for kids. We'll pay you back. Things are tight with Jake between jobs. That card was for Emma's emergency surgery 2 years ago. One-time use. You've charged $19,000 since. She laughed. Come on, Marcus. You can afford it. You're making 6 figures. We're raising a family. Dad said you wouldn't mind helping. Dad said. This was sanctioned by my father. I'm canceling the card today. If you need money, ask me directly like an adult. Her tone shifted, defensive. Taking? We're family. You're acting like I'm stealing. Dad said you wanted to help. Don't make this weird. I hung up. Called my father. Dad, did you tell Melissa it was acceptable to keep using my credit card? Instantly defensive. Marcus, don't start. Melissa's going through a rough patch. You have plenty of money. What's the harm? The harm is nobody asked. You all decided my money was community property. When did you become so selfish? Family helps each other. Or have you forgotten what that means? Family is reciprocal, Dad. Family appreciates each other. Family doesn't lie, steal, then call you selfish when you notice. Lie and steal? Those are serious accusations. We've never lied. Really? Why did Melissa apply to take over the mortgage, claiming she's been making payments? Why is there a letter from you supporting that lie? Long silence. That's complicated. Melissa needs to build credit. We were planning to tell you. When? After you transferred my property into her name? After you erased me like that Instagram post? That post was Patricia's idea. She was proud of Melissa. She lied, Dad. Called it Melissa's hard work. I've paid nearly $300,000. Where's my recognition? My thank you? Basic honesty? His voice turned cold. Your problem is you think money makes you superior. You think your big paycheck entitles you to constant gratitude. Real family doesn't keep score. You're right. Real family doesn't keep score. But I'm not real family. I'm a bank account. I'm a credit card. I'm the guy who pays for everything and receives nothing. If that's how you feel, maybe reevaluate your priorities. Maybe I will. I hung up. My heart pounded, but I felt clear. For the first time in 5 years, I knew what to do. I spent 3 days gathering evidence. Every bank statement. Every receipt. Every text requesting money. Every email confirming transfers. Every forged document. I created a spreadsheet with dates, amounts, purposes, documentation. The file was 237 pages. Then I waited. The message arrived Tuesday morning at 8:14 a.m. from Dad. Marcus, after consideration, Patricia and I decided we no longer trust you to have access to the family home. We've changed all locks and gate code. Do not come to the property without permission. We'll contact you about transitioning the mortgage to Melissa. After everything. After 5 years. After $300,000. A cold text message. I typed one word, understood. Then I canceled the automatic mortgage payment scheduled for next day. $4,200 staying in my account. Money they were expecting, counting on. I called my credit card company. I need to report a card stolen and file fraud claim for unauthorized charges over 2 years. Within an hour, Melissa's access was terminated, fraud investigation opened. I sent certified letters to mortgage company, insurance provider, county tax office, revoking any authorization for Richard or Melissa to access accounts bearing my name. I included attempted fraudulent transfer as evidence. Then I waited. Took 49 hours. Unknown number. I answered. Marcus Chen. Mr. Chen, this is Donald Forrester from Forrester & Klein Law Associates. I'm calling on behalf of Richard and Patricia Brennan regarding an urgent financial matter. I'm listening. Professional but strained voice. My clients informed me there's been a misunderstanding regarding mortgage payment for 847 Riverside Drive. The bank contacted them stating this month's payment wasn't received, threatening foreclosure if payment isn't made within 10 days. That's unfortunate. But what does this have to do with me? Mr. Chen, please. The mortgage is in your name. My clients have been residing in the property under an arrangement with you. They're prepared to assume payments permanently, but need time to arrange financing. We're asking for cooperation to prevent disruption affecting 4 people, including 2 minor children. Mr. Forrester, let me understand. Your clients, who days ago texted they no longer trust me and locked me out of a property I've been solely financing for 5 years, now want my cooperation. Pause. Mr. Chen, I understand there may be family tension, but surely we can work out a reasonable arrangement. My clients are willing to compensate you for past contributions and establish a transition plan. Contributions? Is that what they called it? I believe the figure discussed was approximately $60,000 to $70,000 over the years. I laughed. Try $297,347, Mr. Forrester. I have every receipt, every statement, every check. Mortgage payments of $4,200 monthly for 63 months. Property taxes averaging $3,800 quarterly. Insurance premiums. Emergency repairs including roof replacement, water heater, foundation work. Plus $19,000 in fraudulent credit card charges your client's daughter made without authorization. Absolute silence. When he spoke again, voice had lost polish. Mr. Chen, I wasn't aware of the full scope. Now you are. You have 72 hours to present one of 2 options. Option 1, your clients obtain financing to refinance into their names within 30 days and pay me back every dollar plus interest and legal fees. Option 2, I proceed with foreclosure, sell the property, and sue for fraud, theft, and emotional distress. Those are the only options. Mr. Chen, please be reasonable. They can't raise that capital in 30 days. There has to be middle ground. I've been reasonable for 5 years, Mr. Forrester. I've been understanding, patient, everything a good son should be. In return, I've been used, lied to, stolen from, and erased. My reasonableness is depleted. You now have 71 hours 56 minutes. I hung up. Hand steady. Nothing but clarity. Next 72 hours were chaos. Richard called 17 times. I didn't answer. Patricia sent lengthy texts alternating between guilt and threats. How can you do this to family? Your mother would be ashamed. We'll fight you in court. You'll never see your niece and nephew again. I didn't respond. Melissa showed up at my building. Security called. There's a Melissa Harper demanding to see you. Should I let her up? No. If she doesn't leave in 5 minutes, call police for trespassing. She left in 4. Then came family intervention. Aunts, uncles, cousins, grandmother got involved. Messages flooded in. Marcus, family doesn't do this. You're being cruel. Think of the children. There has to be another way. Your father is having chest pains. I responded to every message identically. Ask Richard to show bank statements proving I paid $297,347 over 5 years. Ask Melissa about credit card fraud. Ask Patricia why she posted Melissa bought the house through hard work when I paid every penny. Then ask why nobody noticed I was being used as an ATM for half a decade. Messages stopped. Forrester called at hour 68. Mr. Chen, my clients are willing to enter payment arrangement. They propose monthly payments of $1,500 until debt is satisfied. I calculated instantly. That's over 16 years, assuming 0 interest. Absolutely not. They either secure a loan, sell assets, liquidate retirement accounts, or I proceed with foreclosure. Not negotiable. They don't have assets to liquidate. The house is their primary residence and only significant property, currently in your name. They're asking for compassion. Compassion? Where was their compassion when they tried to steal my house? When they committed credit card fraud? When they erased me after I saved them from ruin? You now have 4 hours. 3 hours later, different number, unfamiliar voice. Marcus? This is Grandfather James. I sat up. My paternal grandfather, James Chen, 83, retired federal judge who'd moved to Vancouver. We'd been close but hadn't spoken in over a year. Grandfather? This is unexpected. Your father called yesterday. Begging, actually. Spinning tales about you trying to steal the family home out of spite. Said you'd become greedy and cruel, trying to make his grandchildren homeless over a few $1,000s. Voice was hard, cutting. I told him I'd investigate before taking sides. Marcus, send me every document you have. Bank statements, texts, emails, receipts, everything. Send it to my email within the hour. I spent 60 minutes compiling everything into one file. Statements spanning 5 years, spreadsheet, screenshots, receipts, fraudulent mortgage application, everything. Sent with brief cover letter explaining timeline. Grandfather called back 3 hours later. Voice cold as steel. Your father is a disgrace. Your stepmother is a manipulative thief. Melissa is a criminal. Marcus, I'm flying down tomorrow. Don't sign anything, don't agree to anything, don't speak to anyone until I arrive. Understand? Grandfather, you don't need to do that. I can handle this. No. You shouldn't handle this alone. I should have been paying attention. I knew Richard was weak, but didn't realize he'd become a thief. I'll be there in 36 hours. Hold your position. True to his word, Grandfather arrived 2 days later. Called from airport. I've rented a private room at Donovan's Steakhouse for tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. mandatory family meeting. Everyone attends, Richard, Patricia, Melissa, Jake, your aunts, uncles, key cousins. I've made clear absence is not an option. Grandfather, what are you planning? Justice, Marcus. Real justice. Next evening, I arrived at Donovan's at 6:45. Private room was elegant, long table set for 25. Grandfather already there, dressed in dark suit, looking every inch the federal judge he'd been for 35 years. Ready? He asked. I think so. Good. Let me handle most talking. You present facts when I ask. No emotion, just evidence. They arrived at 7. Richard and Patricia first, nervous and angry. Melissa and Jake followed, Melissa trying defiance but eyes showing fear. Various relatives filed in, confused and whispering. At 7:15, Grandfather stood. Room fell silent. Thank you for coming. We're here because this family has a serious problem that's festered for years, and it's time to address it openly. For too long, certain members have operated in shadows, exploiting trust and manipulating narratives. That ends tonight. He turned to me. Marcus, please stand. I stood, heart hammering. Grandfather continued, for 5 years, Marcus has paid the complete mortgage on Richard's house. Not contributed. Paid. The entire amount. $4,200 monthly for 63 consecutive months. In addition, he's covered property taxes averaging $3,800 quarterly, insurance premiums of $2,200 annually, and numerous emergency repairs including roof replacement costing $18,000. Room was silent. People staring at me, then Richard. Grandfather pulled out documents. Total amount Marcus paid, $297,347. I verified every transaction. During this period, Richard and Patricia allowed Melissa's family to live rent-free while publicly claiming Melissa purchased the property through her own hard work and sacrifice. Aunt Linda's voice broke silence. Richard, is this true? Richard's face was crimson. It's complicated, Linda. Marcus makes good money. We needed help. He was happy to provide it. He offered. I offered to help temporarily, I said steadily. You told me 6 months. It became 5 years. You never thanked me. You tried to transfer the house into Melissa's name without telling me. When I found out and set boundaries, you texted you no longer trusted me and locked me out. Patricia's voice was shrill. We raised you after your mother died. I took you into my home. This is how you repay us. Grandfather's voice cut like a blade. Patricia, you married into this family when Marcus was 17. You didn't raise him. Even if you had, parenting doesn't come with a $300,000 invoice. He turned to the room. Furthermore, Melissa has been using Marcus's credit card without authorization for 2 years, charging $19,000 for personal expenses. When Marcus discovered this and revoked access, Melissa claimed it was family helping family and Richard had approved. Uncle Thomas stood. Melissa, did you steal from your brother? It wasn't stealing. Melissa's voice cracked. We had an arrangement. I had access. Marcus knew. I gave you access for one emergency, I said firmly. You were supposed to return it. Instead, you used it as personal spending for 2 years. Grandfather wasn't finished. There's more. Richard and Melissa submitted application to transfer the loan into Melissa's name, claiming Melissa had been making payments and Marcus was merely a co-signer. They forged Marcus's signature on documents. He held up papers. I have copies. This is fraud. Criminal fraud. Room erupted. Voices overlapped, accusations flying. Richard tried to speak, but Grandfather silenced him with one look. Here's what's happening, Grandfather said, voice carrying absolute authority. Marcus is entitled to foreclose and sue for repayment plus damages. However, because I don't want this family destroyed, I'm making a one-time offer. I will personally loan Richard the money to pay Marcus back in full. Every dollar. Richard will then owe me, with formal loan agreement carrying 8% annual interest, secured by the house as collateral. Richard looked slapped. Dad, 8%? That's generous, Grandfather snapped. Market rate for unsecured loan to someone with your credit would be 12 to 15%. Furthermore, if you miss a single payment, I foreclose immediately. House will be refinanced in your name within 30 days, or sold and proceeds distributed according to Marcus's investment. He turned to Melissa. You'll sign a confession regarding credit card fraud. Won't be filed with police immediately, but held as insurance. If you ever steal from Marcus or anyone else again, it goes to authorities. Consider yourself on permanent probation. Melissa's face went white. You can't do this. I have kids. Then you should have thought about them before committing fraud, Grandfather said coldly. Your children aren't a shield for your crimes. Sit down. Grandfather pulled out formal documents. These are loan agreements, payment schedules, and fraud confession. Everyone involved signs tonight, witnessed by multiple family members. Zero ambiguity, zero room for reinterpretation. Next hour was tense as documents were signed. Richard's hands shook signing loan agreement. Patricia refused eye contact. Melissa signed fraud confession with tears streaming, Jake crying beside her. When done, Grandfather addressed the room final time. Let this be a lesson. Family is built on respect, honesty, and reciprocity. Not a license to exploit. Marcus showed loyalty and generosity for 5 years. In return, he received lies, theft, and betrayal. That ends tonight. If anyone has problems with this resolution, you're welcome to leave this family. The door is behind you. No one moved. As people left, several relatives approached. Aunt Linda hugged me. Marcus, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. If I'd known, I would have said something. Uncle Thomas shook my hand. You did the right thing, son. Standing up to family is harder than strangers. Takes real courage. Grandfather and I were last to leave. In parking lot, he put hand on my shoulder. Your father was always weak. I tried to teach him integrity, but some lessons don't take. You, however, learned it on your own. I'm proud of you, Marcus. I didn't want to destroy the family, Grandfather. He smiled sadly. You didn't destroy anything. You revealed what was already broken. There's a difference. Sometimes things need to break completely before they can be rebuilt properly. Money was wired to my account within a week. $297,347, plus additional $25,000. Grandfather insisted I accept for legal fees and emotional damages. House was refinanced in Richard's name within 28 days. I was released from all liability. I never heard from Richard, Patricia, or Melissa after that. Not on my birthday. Not on holidays. Not even a text. The silence was complete. And honestly, it was the greatest gift they could have given me. 3 months later, I moved into a new apartment. 2 bedrooms, floor-to-ceiling windows, city skyline view. I furnished it how I wanted, with pieces I loved, without worrying about saving for someone else's emergency. I started dating. I took 2 weeks in Japan, something I'd been postponing because I couldn't afford it while funding their lifestyle. People ask if I regret how it ended. If I miss them. If I feel guilty. Answer is always no. Because what I learned is family isn't defined by blood or obligation. It's defined by mutual respect, genuine care, and reciprocity. Grandfather visits twice yearly now. We have dinners, talk about life, share stories about his years on bench. Those evenings mean infinitely more than 5 years of exploitation ever did. I hear through family grapevine occasionally. Melissa's working 2 jobs helping Richard make payments to Grandfather. Patricia complains about reduced lifestyle. They tell people I abandoned them, chose money over family, that I'm cold and cruel. Let them tell their version. I have bank statements. I have truth. I have my peace. If you take one thing from my story, let it be this: love and loyalty should never be one-sided. The moment you realize you're the only one giving, the only one sacrificing, the only one showing up, you have a choice. You can keep giving until there's nothing left, or you can choose yourself. I chose myself. And I've never looked back. Thank you for watching my story. If it resonated with you, if it helped you see your own situation clearly, please subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another story. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment about where you're watching from and your thoughts. Your engagement helps content like this reach people who need it most. Remember, you're not obligated to set yourself on fire to keep others warm. Sometimes the bravest thing you can do is walk away. Until next time, choose yourself.